Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Many people desire to expand their collection of plants, and one way to achieve this is through propagation. In today's video, I'll showcase my collection of Tradescantia Zebrina, also known as Wandering Jew, which I have grown through propagation. I'll demonstrate the process of water propagation, which is the method I personally prefer as it has been more successful for me than direct soil propagation. So without further ado, let's get started. As you can see here, these are my Tradescantia zebrina plants. Except for one plant, all of them have been propagated solely through water. And the best thing about Tradescantia is that these plants require minimal maintenance, which makes gardening a fun experience. So if you are a beginner, then you can go ahead and start your plant journey with this plant. So here is the mommy Tradescantia, and all of the babies have grown from her cuttings. I brought her home this spring, and I think last week I repotted it because it was root bound. And you will be surprised to see that my plant is not at all trailing because I never allowed it to trail down completely. I just kept on propagating new plants by making cuttings and placing them in water. In case if your Tradescantia has become leggy, or if you want to have a fuller and bushier Tradescantia, then don't hesitate to trim off its stems. Now here you can see a zebrina plant next to a Brazilian philodendron. I added it to provide a striking purple touch alongside the green, and I don't know why I am always fascinated by the combination of green and purple, and I wanted to see the beauty of both colors, so I just placed Tradescantia zebrina and pothos cuttings together in a pot, which I believe look excellent. They seem to enjoy each other's company. Here you can see this is another Tradescantia plant which is again grown from cutting, but it looks more pinkish rather than having a green touch to it. And the reason why the leaves are having pink or purple pigmentation is that I think they are more exposed to the light than their requirement. Placement of this plant is really important. If they are put in a darkest corner, you would see the variegation will go away and all the leaves will turn green automatically. So if you want to have the more pinkish purplish color, then you need to expose them in right amount of light. Here are some more you can see. And here is a small Tradescantia in a small ceramic container. For water propagation, you need to have a healthy stem cuttings, but before that, first you need to sterilize your pruning shears or scissors, whichever tool you are going to use, and look out for a healthy stem. Make a cut just below a node. I'll show you. This stem looks healthy, and I'm gonna be making a cut just below the node. Here is one cutting ready. Now let me find some other also. Not this. Yeah, I think this one looks better, and I'm just gonna cut it off. And as you can see here, now I'm going to remove lower 2-3 leaves because this part of the stem is going to be submerged in the water, and this will grow roots. I'm leaving 3 to 4 leaves on top. That is fine because it is going to help in photosynthesis. And now here is a point to remember, that if you are growing cuttings in water, it is important to change the water every 2 to 3 days, or if it's not possible, then do it at least once in a week to avoid any algae or bacterial issue. Once you place all these cuttings in the container, then find a nice bright spot where you can place this container so that rooting can happen easily and effectively. I would also say avoid keeping these cuttings in direct sun because it can scorch the leaves and rooting cannot happen. Or if you would keep these cuttings in darkest spot, then also rooting won't happen and your cuttings might rot. So always keep in mind, bright spot is really important for successful root development of the cuttings. And the very first day you place the cuttings in water, you would notice they will start to root, and almost in a week they'll grow nice root. This is the very first day you see. It would look like this, and within a week it will develop a good root system. And once the roots are a few inches long, then you can transfer them into soil. And once you start seeing roots, you would also notice that the stem would grow and it will have new leaves on top. And once the cuttings have developed sufficient roots, like at least a few inches long, you can see here all my cuttings are rooted. When your cuttings look like this, you can transplant them into pots with the well-draining potting mix. And generally, Tradescantia plants love to thrive in a well-draining soil. To make it happen, I'm going to be adding some extra orchid bark. Here is perlite. It is going to improve the drainage in the soil or in the potting mix. Here is my regular potting mix, and I'm going to be adding some extra things like orchid barks and perlite. If you don't have perlite, you can use sand instead of it. For nutrition, I'm going to be adding earthworm castings. So what happens is that when we add perlite and orchid barks in our potting mix, they improve drainage and aeration in the soil. And when there is a good aeration, the roots will be able to absorb nutrition and water more quickly, and they won't rot. And now I'm going to be adding some soil in the container. And now you can see the cuttings have got beautiful roots. I'm going to be placing it in the container. And now you can see this planter is all set. It's filled with the cuttings. I'm going to put some more. And this is a half moon shaped planter. I have two of them, and I'm going to be placing some other cuttings in the other one too. And let's see then what I'm going to do. Time to add some soil. And I'm going to water them thoroughly. Container is all set, and here I've got another container. I'm going to repeat the same process again. Going to be adding some soil. Going to make some holes and going to place those cuttings back into the soil. And while placing these cuttings into soil, you need to be slightly careful because they are really fragile. They are very soft. They can smush away easily. Now here you can see both the containers are ready, and once you water them, place your cuttings in a bright spot away from direct sunlight. You would see the stems will have new leaves. It will start to grow from sides, it will go long. And here is the same containers after a month. You can see I have placed a hook between the two so that together they can make a full circle, and with this hook I can hang it up on my plant stand. At last, I would say this stunning plant can enhance the beauty of your home with its green, purple and silver striped leaves. You can also propagate these plants and share their beauty with your friends and family and experience the joy of giving. If you really like this video, give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay happy and happy planting.